We're not really creators, we are reproducers. I'm talking the humanity or the human beings. There is only one creator. And yet, when we live our lives truly aligned with the creator, with my true self, then we become instrument of creation. The creative process can happen through us. Could be art, music, words. There's no limit to it. I remember Dr. Jumsai sharing this story. I believe this is 30 plus years old story. He used to work for NASA as part of the landing on the Mars mission. So many attempts were made to land successfully on Mars because of the very thin atmosphere. There were challenges in terms of the satellite crashing. And then he meditated on the subject and he received the method of successfully landing on Mars. And that particular implementation was the only successful implementation after a series of failures to land a satellite or an object without crashing on the surface of Mars. Why am I telling this story? Is because we all have inner voice. What we need is, number one, understanding the difference between my true inner voice, which is just one, and then other voices, which may also include our preferences of likes and dislikes, and also our fears. So knowing the difference between my inner voice and other voices, that's one. Second, to be able to listen and discern what that voice is, and to be able to replicate that in words as true to the original source. Three is the process of refinement, is how to refine, how to depict in words, how to reproduce in words what the actual inner voice said or showed or revealed, or the vision you received. And the third part, the act of refinement, is the true sadhana. First, the removal of obstacles, my own voices coming and interpreting it. Or sometimes we rush it. Oftentimes we don't give ourselves time to listen. And that time can be in slowness in our voice, to give ourselves time to listen and speak it. Or it may mean, let me take a moment, let me think it through. It may mean a few seconds to a few minutes. Oh, yeah, now I can understand how to say in words what I heard in my inner voice. And if we give ourselves that time, that moment where we can reflect on the intent and the meaning of that inner voice, and then choose words wisely that reflect that intent, life will be so beautiful and meaningful and useful. Our relationships would be better. 3 steps in listening to and following and sharing and refining the reproduction and actions of your inner voice. First, we all have inner voice. Learning to differentiate between that inner voice and the rest of the voices within us and the voices that come from outside, no matter how well-meaning they are or how true they are. First, identifying that. Number 2, when we are sharing our inner voice, learning to find words that are as close as possible to that inner voice, that reveal the original content in as true a form as possible, in a way that is communicable to the other person that you're communicating with or to the other people. And 3, it's a continual refinement process. What is the refinement? To be able to reproduce words which are as close as possible to the original message and communicable, understandable to the party, the other party. And what do you do in the meantime? One, be patient with yourself and keep doing it, because the refinement is over time. The more we do it, the more we practice it, the habit of it is sadhana. It gets better and better and better. When we become more refined, because the entire sadhana, the entire culture is nothing but refinement process, which means as we become more pure in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions, which is the purpose of this lifetime anyway, then I have more clarity in listening to that inner voice. And also, I become more aligned. I'm become more clear and focused to that inner voice. And that alignment to that inner voice, which comes through practice and through this devotion and dedication to that inner voice. It's a discipline. Mel Robbins' message of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is nothing but there is an inner voice. Don't waste your time. Within 5 seconds, act on it. The best way to express that love towards me, the I love me, is to continue to discern what that inner voice is, align myself to that inner voice in thoughts, words, and actions, and continually refine it to find words that are more in tune with that original intent. I love me.